What's up, guys? It's your boy, Talon Robertson, and today I've got a very special guest. This is my boy, Ray, and Ray has actually learned how to sell on Amazon, and I've been helping him along the way. And so I have brought him on here today to just kind of share with us his story and just, give you guys what you need to know when starting out with Amazon. So how are we doing, Ray, today?
I'm doing well, bro. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Let me ask you this first. How was like the journey for you? Like what made you want to get started with selling on Amazon primarily?
Really, really, I just wanted another source of income aside from my job and wanted something that is scalable and that could also help me with other future investments.
So, with that being said, let me ask you this. Like what stood out about Amazon that said, "Hey, this is something like real that I need to just go ahead and like at least learn or jump into just to do it." Like what really like on your inside made you say, "Hey, I want to try it."
Honestly, just not enjoying working that 9 to 5 life, like wanting to get out of that, not being told what to do, and just Amazon. So many people are doing it, and it just seems so doable. It was just wanting to take that action, take that step, and see what could come of it.
Yeah,
So that's
man,
really
that is
why.
awesome. That is awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. So, I know if I know that most people don't already know. Let's give them some background. So me and Ray, we both went to UNC Charlotte, and that is how we know each other. And so I went to school for business for math for business. I got a degree. Ray also went to school, and he got his degree, but he got his degree in engineering. Is that right?
Yep, systems engineering.
Systems engineering. And so Ray, tell us about your job. Like you make pretty good money, right?
Right. So I actually got a new job recently as a data analyst, but
Okay.
graduating out of school the last 4 years, I was working at a civil engineering firm working on sanitary and storm sewer system projects.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different things like rehabilitation, project management, the day-to-day contact and communication with contractors. So it was a lot of extensive Excel spreadsheet, sitting in the cubicle kind of
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
And it's just not that great.
Nah, after a while, you get tired of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've actually never worked a traditional job. And so I know a lot of you guys, you follow me and see that I sell on Amazon. I give a lot of you guys good tips. And Ray can vouch for me. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
good tips up my
For sure.
sleeve. And anyways, I've never really worked a traditional job. Actually, when I was in college, I started a pressure washing business. And, luckily I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good looking guy. I can talk, to people and, hey, people just want their houses washed. So I have been able to do that for many years. But, in the last 3 years, I've been selling on Amazon. And for me, one of the biggest things I love about Amazon is I may buy stuff today, but I might make money on it a week from now or 2 weeks or whatever the case is. And really, those big ticket items, those are the best. Like I was telling you earlier about the Disney Lego set that I sold.
Right.
I ended up buying this Disney Lego castle from Lego, the Lego store. And there's one right up the road from my house. And I ended up getting that for $370. That's after tax and everything. I don't have a resale certificate with Lego. I have one. Just I don't know if Lego accepts that. I haven't really talked to them and dived into that. But so I did pay taxes on it, and I ended up selling it on Amazon for $585 about a week before Christmas. That's prime
That's
time to
crazy.
sell.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about getting the most money for a product right there in that last week of Christmas. And so I was able to do that. And so stuff like that is just like what really drives me. Just knowing that, hey, I can actually, if I save up and squirrel up enough money, I can set it to the side and buy these products and get even more money back when they sell. And so for me, it was like a no brainer. Like if you've got money that you're not currently utilizing, this is a good way for you to put money into something and get more out of it with just a little bit of work. Now, I know you've been following my advice, and the biggest thing I tell most people when they get started is to sell what?
Start selling used books.
There we go. My man's on it. He
Yes,
knows. We're
sir.
selling used books. And so, actually, when I first started, I actually didn't know how to sell used books, and I ended up making a lot of mistakes, and it cost me some money. I actually started out with video games, believe it or not, and I sold about $4,000 worth of video games my first week, or I'm sorry, my first month on Amazon. And you know, I didn't really make a whole lot. There's a bunch of games I made $5 on, which is great. Making $5 on a game, and you're flipping them consistently. I mean, at one point I was selling 30 or 40 games a day when I was buying them that first month I got started. And making $5 was great, but there was a lot of games that they just went downhill super fast. And so, anyways, I ended up breaking even on a lot of them and just paying for shipping. And it was a lesson learned. And then I discovered used books, and I actually learned used books from Reezy Resales. And I don't know if are you familiar with Reezy Resales?
No, I've never heard of it.
So Reezy Resales, he's a lot bigger than I am. You know, he's done a lot more stuff on YouTube, sold a lot more items. He's just, he's been doing it a lot longer, and he has a free course on his website, and that's how I actually learned how to sell books. And I've learned a lot more since then, and I think that the course is a little outdated, but for the most part, all the information's still there. Everything that I've taught you, it's in his course, and so that's how I learned. But let's let's ask Ray, how has the learning curve been for you?
So I'd say for me, you know, initially when you taught me going to like thrift stores and different like Goodwills, Value Villages, it's initially, you're just starting there, hitting as many thrift stores as possible. And then I think it gets to a point I'm trying to learn to like be more efficient, also kind of like mapping out routes, different days that I'm going, just overall trying to increase my efficiency. And so after the first 2 months, I started in August sourcing the books in September. All out, I was just on go. And then it kind of just slowed down, especially with me moving over to the beach because I'm over
Right.
by Wilmington
Yeah,
now.
I know.
So them stores, it's not like Charlotte over here where there's
Yeah,
like
it's a
30.
lot
It's,
less.
it's like far and in between.
Yeah,
So
and you get a lot of foxing too, right?
yes, a
So
lot of foxing on the
yes,
books.
yeah.
Yes, yes. So start having to get creative. I would, go to different surrounding areas and look up stores and just plan my whole, like I would go on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was driving like 30 minutes or an hour away, I would look at an area, I would find stores, I would map it out. You could go on like Google, go on photos. I would go through the store, try and see their
Check
book
out their
collection.
photos. Yeah, that's a big tip.
That's
So
a
that's a
huge
gold
tip.
nugget for you guys. If you
Mhm.
don't know, you can look at the photos on a Google business listing, and sometimes you will be able to see that they do have books, in fact. And that's a good way for you to kind of gauge how many books they have, or if it's even worth your while to even go.
Exactly, because there have been plenty of times, you just look up thrift store, so you just go, and they might have like 5 books or something on the
Yeah.
shelf. But then using that tool, looking at Google Images, you could see like shelves clearly like behind us. You just scroll through like 50 photos and you find the bookshelves. Makes those decisions a lot easier and increases your efficiency and time spent.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, how is finding books for you? Like, let's talk about when you first got started and you were scanning books initially. What were you using?
I was using the eYo-yo scanner.
Okay,
AT scanner.
the one I gave you
Yes.
or sold you.
Mhm.
Okay, and then like, what app were you using? Like before I showed you anything, were you just using the Amazon Seller app?
I was using Scoutly.
So you went directly with Scoutly
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Yep.
And so you went with the database initially as well, too, right?
So I didn't know about the database
Okay.
initially, and I was doing everything on live mode.
Okay.
Big game changer.
Yeah. And I remember when we went to the thrift store together, and you was like, man, how are you scanning so many books?
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's the database, bro. And I'm also skipping bad books.
Mhm.
And so I know you probably learned a few bad
Yes.
books.
Oh my. It starts to save you so
let me get
much time.
let me get three titles right now that you skip every time you see it.
Purpose driven life.
Oh, that's a number one skipper.
Yep. I think it's like women or men are from Venus.
I would
Do
skip
you know
that one
that
as
one?
well. Women are
And
from Venus or men are from Mars, something like
yeah,
that.
that's the one. And then President Bush books or any of those.
Yeah,
None
and
of
so
those.
actually politics is not really the best
Right.
it's nonfiction,
Right.
but it's not really the best nonfiction category that you can actually look in.
Okay.
Politics is very you got to get them new and or either very like small press. If you've got something that's based on politics that's small press and kind of stays in date, that you can probably resell for profit, but for the most part, politics is not the best section to scan in. Well, that's enlightening. So once you learned about the database, you got your speed up.
Game changer. Mm-hmm.
Game changer. So how many books were you sourcing before the database and then after the database?
Before, I'd probably bring home, let's say I went out, did 5 stores, I'd bring home maybe like 5 books.
5 books from
Maybe
5
like
sources.
five.
That's terrible.
And this was also before, so live mode with only the phone too.
Yep.
Because I did that
No
for a little
scanner.
bit before the scanner.
Yep.
So that'd be definitely like 3 books in a day.
Yeah,
terrible.
I remember you telling me about how you like found like some R.L. Stein books.
Yeah.
And I checked them out and they were good.
Yeah.
They had
I got lucky with that.
Yeah. And I think you paid a little more than probably what you should have, but you were still learning. And that was like an early mistake that everyone would make, but it only cost you what, $3?
$4.
$4. And he's still profitable, so like it's not like he was losing money, but at the same time, like maybe I wouldn't have bought that item in particular, because of the sales rank and the price, and there's just a bunch of different factors. But
Yeah.
I'm sure your sourcing has gotten much better.
Much better. So back to now, we fast forward. I have the database, I have the scanner. Now it's anywhere from 15 to 20, 30 a day. When I go out, hit a lot of stores.
And that's you by yourself. Nobody's helping you.
Just by myself. Even today, I sourced, probably started around 9, finished 2:30 before I came over here.
Okay.
Found about 45 to 55 books.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Sure.
Now, what's your biggest sourcing day been so far? How many books have you sourced in a single day?
I'll think today.
Today.
Be the most.
So that's awesome. And you were just hitting places from Wilmington to here?
No, I was in Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I just hit thrift stores from.
So I know that not everyone here is in Charlotte, but Goodwills here are not that great in Charlotte. And that's just my personal opinion. Did you hit a lot of Goodwills today?
I did. I hit 2.
2.
1 was okay. In 1, I found 25 items in.
Okay.
I found 24 books, 1 DVD.
So Goodwills, there's still money at Goodwills.
It can be hit or miss. I went far south. I
They
went
are
to
hit
Goodwills I haven't hit before that.
That's the key, I think.
Going to different areas.
Like, it's okay for you to get a routine and check in on these thrift stores because you kind of learn them and you learn how fast their volume's coming.
Right.
But after you learn how fast their volume's coming, you really need to expand on which stores you hit.
Right.
And so, Ray, I know that you do mainly thrift stores. Do you have any other sourcing plans in mind for this year, 2023, going forward?
I already know the book sales coming up. We got Wilmington coming at the beginning of February.
I'm with the Wilmington sale. Yeah, I will be there.
I'll see you there. there's Burlington in March.
Burlington is a great sale, guys.
Yeah. And then my dad lives up in Maryland, so this is where I'll be going to different areas.
And so I've never sourced up north.
Yeah, neither have I, but
I heard it's brutal.
I think there's a book sale going on near him, so I may go up and visit him and hit that book sale too.
Well, you're going to have to keep me posted on that because I've heard that booksellers up north are very brutal. They're kind of violent, but you're a big guy, dude. Yeah. So they're not going to push you around. Me, they might try to push me around, but I don't take nothing from no one. So, they wouldn't get but so far. I have to give them an elbow, a cheap shot. Nah, let's be clear. We're all pretty professional when it comes to sourcing books. I've never, been in a library where a fight's broke out, but I've heard of stories. I just try to be polite to everyone, and yeah, I mean,
everybody be in there. Yeah.
Politeness goes a long way. Don't you agree?
definitely agree.
Now, have you had any chances to get, say, backroom access to any store or to a library where they're like, yeah, we got a bunch of books in the basement. You want to take a look at them? Or have you had any situations like that yet?
No, I haven't had any backroom access or anything like that. But when I go to different stores and I'll be talking, like checking out, talking to the clerks, they being nice, like you said, they'll just give me helpful advice or tell me about bookstores that I didn't even know in the area that
Yep.
just lead to like 2 or 3 more extra places that I didn't even plan to go. So
And I think when you're outsourcing, some of the most important things you can do is just literally ask questions to the people that are there.
yeah,
Uh, it doesn't even have to be anything really too related to like what you're doing. You could just say, hey, are you guys open like 5 days a week or 7 days a week? Just get a little information, get people talking, and you never know what's going to come out because someone could be like, yeah, we actually receive a truck every Tuesday and we restock the shelves on Wednesday. And now every Wednesday you're showing up to get that fresh stock.
right,
And it's like that, right?
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's definitely like a great way for you to like get into the trenches and like really learn your sources. Because I think learning sources is definitely like a key skill to keeping fresh inventory coming in.
Yeah. Closed mouths don't get fed.
That's
So
right.
you
Closed
gotta
mouths
speak
don't
up.
get fed.
You gotta speak up.
So let me ask you this. Where are we at on inventory right now?
Inventory, we are pushing active. We're pushing 400.
400 active. And this is your second month, right? Or no,
This
this
is
is your
my
fourth.
September, October, November, December, 5th month.
Fifth month in, we're at 400 books. So we can tell, this isn't like your primary thing. This is all side money for right now.
Yes.
And so, you started out with $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your payout starting to look like? Because you haven't put any more money in, right? You just worked with the 1,000 that you started with.
No, I put
Oh,
plenty
you
more
put
money.
more
Yeah, I
money
probably
in.
put in another 1,500.
Another 1,500. So you're
Right.
2,500 all in.
Yeah.
What's your payouts looking like?
So it's starting to grow. My last payout was 150.
150.
My next one, I think, is
So
already
that's 10% right there
right.
in one payout.
Exactly.
And you got, that's not 10% of your inventory that you sold to
Right.
get that.
Nope.
Yeah, you
Nope.
see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The snowball's starting to
It's
come
picking up.
about.
The money's coming back faster and faster. But my last one was 150. The one currently right now is already at 100. So only selling until that 2 week mark.
Right.
It'll build from there. Previous payouts I've had another 100 and around 90. So I'd say in total my payouts have been over about 600.
So
So
money coming in is slow at the beginning.
Yeah.
It is. And so I had to struggle with that a lot too when I was starting out. Main thing I did was just try to source cheap books. I didn't have a whole lot of money going in, but I had a couple $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, about same as you, 2,500, $3,000, something like that. That's what I had going in. And, when I initially went in, I bought a bunch of video games, lost some money, invested, whatever. I made some money on some of those video games. I didn't do terrible, but the inventory, some of it got stale and some of it I sold at a loss, and I had to find something different. So that's when I learned about the used books. And the used books for me has been really awesome in producing consistent income. So my account, I did over six figures. Well, my first year I did just shy of six figures. I did 98,000 and some change, and then my second year was probably about the same, but there were periods of time where my 12-month average was about 150,000 because I had made more in some months versus other months were not as good. And most of that was due to books. And the one thing I really can say about books is like once you build up that inventory level, consistent payouts is awesome. Like I know my account is paying me out 2 to 3 grand every 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming into my bank account every 2 to 3 weeks, or every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 grand, and it's mainly because I have a consistent quantity of books, and I've got books back here that I haven't been able to list or send in because of my inventory limits.
Oh, okay.
So you're still under 1,000. units, so you don't even know about inventory limits.
No, I
really.
do know about it.
But
yeah,
I had inventory limits that were projected over 4,000, and they dropped me down to 1,000, and so that really hurt. I haven't been able to send anything in, so I've been doing a lot of merchant fulfilled recently.
wait, you were at 4,000, they dropped you down to 1,000.
Yep, and so I
Because of the holiday season.
I actually had about 2,800 units in stock, and that's good. You know,
Yeah.
2,800 books in stock. I'm making pretty decent bread off that, but they limited the amount of storage I could have, and this is by unit type. And so standard units are your books. Now, some book sets can be oversized, and those don't really count the same as your standard because you get 1,000 of each. But basically, for Q4, they stopped letting me send in books, and so they limited me at when I was at 2,800 in stock. I went from 4,000 available units down to 1,000, and so I haven't been able to send in anything for months now. Really hurt my business overall, but I mean, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm not hurt too bad, guys. Let's be real. I've got a lot of product back here for merchant fulfilled, and so I've been doing a lot of merchant fulfilled. And for Q4, dude, Q4, I killed it. I killed it. So, I think a lot of it had to do with me just being able to do the merchant fulfilled. If I just would have said, "Oh, I can't do anything about it," and just complain, Amazon's a big bully, then I probably wouldn't have made as much money as I would have, and I wouldn't have sent in any product. Which I never did send in any product, but I sold a lot of items right here from this office.
Right.
And so, did you do any merchant fulfilled? Do you do any at all?
I haven't done any yet. I do
Okay.
have those books I asked you about that, with the
Long tail.
dimensions.
Oh yeah, those.
They don't have a dimension because they're not listed. Or
yeah, they're not.
Dimensions weren't put in the list
For FBA,
right.
Exactly, because Amazon, you can sell stuff on Amazon without sending it to FBA, but when you do need to send something to FBA, they need to have the dimensions to price it accordingly.
Right.
So, yeah, for some books that haven't made it to Amazon's FBA fulfillment program, you need to put in your own weight and dimensions for those units and let Amazon determine how much it's going to cost to do the fulfillment for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you do that directly on Amazon, but sounds like this journey has been pretty good for you so far. I think you're looking forward to making a lot more money, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And so now that you're starting to see it kind of build, because now that you're at 400 in stock and you see that paycheck is at 190, let's say it's at 190. I forgot exactly.
It's 150.
150. 150. You can buy a lot of books for $150, right? And if you're good at sourcing and you really just focus on high quality books, I mean, that 150 can go a long way. You can turn that 150 into $2,000 to $3,000. Would you not argue that?
No, I completely agree.
You completely agree, yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about the most profitable books you've sold so far. Buy cost and sell price. What we got?
So most profitable would be, I believe, a book I sold on New Year's. It sold for $71.
Ooh, that's nice.
I bought it for $2.
Nice.
The profit was $53.
Nice. So my man, he's got the fees calculated and everything. He's on it.
I'll be looking.
Yes, sir. You got to know how much you're making.
Profit,
you got to know how much you're making. So that's a big thing. If you don't understand the fees, you definitely have to learn the fees. Now, what's your knowledge on the fees? Do you even know how they work? Or
so they have the referral fee, which is like the listing. I guess you like pay for the listing.
Basically, if someone buys your item.
Yeah. Then you have like selling fees. I'm thinking that's like pick, pack, and ship.
That's like your FBA fees. Yeah, your pick, pack, and ship.
Then like when you ship a box in, ship in inventory, you have
your inbound shipping fee. Yep.
And then you have like your Amazon seller account fee that comes out of there.
So a lot of fees.
One more I'm missing.
I think you hit them
storage
all.
fees.
Storage fees. He did. Yeah.
So,
and you're not really too concerned about storage fees. They're pretty low.
It's like 25, 50 cents.
Main thing is to sell your inventory, right? Mm-hmm. And so he hit it. So you got your referral fee, which is 15%. That's your typical sale. Now I do know you missed one, and it's called, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a media fee. And so on books, DVDs, and CDs, you get charged $1.80 for every unit that you sell.
Oh, okay, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
And
I've
that's,
seen
you
that.
know, that's for everybody. Now, if you're a professional like us, because you got the professional plan, which is the $39.99 a month, then you don't have to pay a per item fee. But if you have a free account, then you have to pay that additional dollar. So when you're selling media, 15% of the sale price plus their $1.80, which that could change. This, you know, that could become outdated very quickly.
Right.
Who knows how much they want to charge? Amazon makes their own
Right.
prices, but
Make the
$1.80 for any kind of media, and then you have an Amazon FBA fee if you send it to their warehouse where they're going to pick, pack, and ship it for you.
Right.
So I know that you've been doing Amazon for about 4 months. What's the best part about FBA?
I just love how exciting it is, just like the grind of it, the hustle, because there's just so much power in it because you literally can go out and do the work and see it instantly, like not instantly, but you see the reward of your work come back. And it's
Yeah.
just very fulfilling to like work for yourself and build this for yourself.
And so you're building a legit stream of income from
Yes,
the ground up.
yes, it's
And
very
so,
rewarding.
and the thing is like, as long as you maintain your sourcing practices and you have books coming in, your money, as long as you got more books coming in than you got going out, your money should continue to multiply theoretically.
Right.
Now, one of the main things with that is also repricing. So, you got your repricer yet?
Yes, I do.
What'd you end up getting?
I got Reprice it.
Reprice it. Okay. So I've used Reprice it before. I prefer to use Profit Protector Pro. That is
Right.
my go-to repricer. It's a little expensive, but it's got algorithmic AI strategies. It's like $55 a month or something like that. And that's what I like to use. But you're using Reprice it.
Right.
And so Reprice is what, like $10 a month, right?
15.
15. And so that's definitely a cheap end repricer. So did you notice your sales go up as soon as you started using the repricer?
So I repriced right after Christmas. It was the first time I like repriced with a repricer, not just on Amazon. And I've already seen at least 5 books repriced. So because you know how we send it in, the initial SKU shows that price what we sent it in. But then when it sells and I see a different price, I know I reprice it.
And so you can see how important it was for me to let you, like, for me to program that in for you. So what we're talking about is when I helped Ray set up his Accelerlist program. Accelerlist is a program that allows you to list your items on Amazon in a fast and convenient way that's, you know, better than Amazon's in-house method. And so it uses an API, which is basically just, you know, data that they relate to one another to allow it to do this. And in there, you have a settings for your SKU. And basically, we automated your SKU settings so that it would contain the price that you listed it at, as well as a few other factors. Right. So now that you've seen the prices change based on your repricer, most of the time you see it go down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time. Have you had any sale that went higher?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I did reprice some that reprice higher. They haven't sold yet.
That's good though. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're watching that and continuing to do that, man, you're on the right track. You've got a repricer. And so have you had any problems with the repricer tanking your items? Or do you set floor prices for each individual one? Because I haven't used repricing in a long time, so I forgot.
I don't have any triggers set on it just yet. I was just manually doing it.
Okay.
But I was doing it based on like the SKU again, the date range. So when we talked about it, you said I don't really need to reprice anything for at least like 2 months, right? Roughly 60 days.
30 to 60 days. Yeah. You pretty much let it chill. Right. Because the thing is if you're in this model where you're trying to just turn over a product as fast as you can and you're in that fast nickel momentum, then I would say just start repricing as soon as stuff gets checked in.
Yeah.
You know, 2-3 weeks. Now it can take up to like 45 days sometimes for your items to actually get checked in, but once they're checked in, 2 or 3 weeks, you should probably reprice if you're definitely trying to work with the fast nickel mentality. Now, if you're a slow dom, you can reprice once a month.
Yeah.
But if you're sending in stuff to Amazon, Amazon is really going to hit you hard with restock limits, and so you're not at 1,000. You're not even close to 1,000. You've got plenty of room to grow. But just know as you grow, you're going to want to keep faster moving products in because Amazon is going to be able to restrict how many you're going to send, how many they will take from you, and you don't want to have any problems when you have a growing business and learn from the mistakes that I've made.
Right.
And so one of the things that I've done recently to help out with restock limits is just buy faster selling items. And I'm not going to obviously give you all of my items here, but back here on the bookshelf, I've got some Legos back here in this back corner, or that back corner right there. And yeah, so Legos is one of those big items that I have been buying and selling to really speed up how many units I'm selling. Because a lot of times, if I want to, I can buy Legos and sell them within a day or two.
They're usually quick sellers.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But it depends on which ones you get.
Yeah, right.
Now, if you find like one with like a 7,000 sales rank, like say for instance that Harry Potter one up there at the top, that one, if I priced it according to the buy box, I had no problem selling that today or tomorrow. Now, I actually have some of those listed a little higher because here's a fun fact for you, and this is going to help you out when you decide to start selling Legos, or if you decide to move in that area. But Legos, they typically manufacture them for about 2 years, and that's an individual set. So, for example, that Harry Potter one they might make for 2 years, and then they're going to retire it. When they retire it, they're not going to make anymore. So, if you still have it brand new in the box, you're going to be able to sell it for much higher than people that are selling it now while they're still manufacturing it. And so, learning when sets retire, you're able to buy those sets and profit off of them in the near future. And a lot of times these are really good profits, 20, 30, 40, 50%, just depending on how fast it's moving and how long you're willing to wait.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Legos are always good.
I didn't even think about expiring sets, holding on to them.
Yeah. So that's actually been my whole model. Now, obviously, like I buy all of my Legos for the most part from Walmart. You can buy them from other places. I have seen them at Target, and they've been profitable. Macy's, I think, carries them. Barnes and Noble. There's a bunch of places that carry Lego, but you can just look around, and if you can find a good sale, then you're able to get it at a good price. But then if they're close to expiring, that's when you can hold on to it for a couple months and really profit off of it. Because when I buy Lego sets, if I buy it for $30 to $40, I'm expecting it to sell from 70 to like 90 most of the time.
Good money.
Yeah.
Good money.
Well, you got any questions for me, Ray?
I guess more of my questions, going towards online arbitrage. You said kind of shifting that way when I'm not able to spend completely all of my payouts once they start growing.
Yes.
Because then I'll be spending on books, and then the remaining money I start getting other products.
Exactly. So like my payouts have been right around $3K a payout recently. The last 3 or 4 have been around that price. And how hard would it be for you to spend $3,000 on profitable books?
Very hard.
Like you got to be out there scanning so much.
You'd have to hope you have like 10 library sales. Like
you'd have to have a lot. You'd have to have a lot of books around. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely doable. You can spend $3,000 on books. If you're in the bulk model, it's really easy to do because you're taking a gamble. But for cherry picking, I mean, that's hard to do.
Yes.
And so I like to cherry pick. I don't want to mess with bulk again. I did it once. It's not for me. Having a warehouse and then wearing boots and digging in Gaylords and dusty and dust mites, and you never know what you're going to see in a Gaylord. It's crazy. And I don't think I want to go back that route, but it would be really hard to spend $3K doing cherry picking. And so this is why I want to stress OA, because you can get you a software like Tactical Arbitrage. Now, Tactical Arbitrage is the number one software when it comes to doing online arbitrage. And basically what this is a tool that allows you to scrape other websites and then compare prices with Amazon's. And then it will target the ones that meet your criteria, whether that be, rank or price
Profit.
or profit, whatever your criteria is set for. And so I'm able to scan Walmart's website, their whole website, in a matter of a day or two, and I could have thousands of leads in front of me. Now, granted, I might not buy every one of them. Some of them I might say, "Oh, well, they're too fast selling," or this one's got Amazon on it, or this one's just temporarily up in price. The price probably will go back down. There's 100 reasons why I won't buy products, but it's going to give me the best lead of products to look at than anywhere else.
And then from there, you make your buying decisions.
I do. And I actually really love it. It's such a good business model because I wake up in the morning, let's say I've got to go do some pressure washing work. I'll wake up before I go pressure washing and I'll set my tactical arbitrage account to scan a website. And so one of those websites I had to scan recently is shills.com. You probably never heard of Shills, have you?
Mm-hmm.
They're like a Dick's Sporting Goods. That's the best way I can explain it.
Okay.
But it's kind of Midwest company. And anyways, I've got 32 products sitting in my dashboard for me to look at right now that I could probably buy and flip for a profit. And so that's good because I can buy 5-10 units. They might restrict me on how many units I can buy, but for the most part, a lot of these companies, you can easily buy 5 to 10 units from them, no problem, no questions asked. Some of them you can buy, like Walmart, you can buy as much as you want. Walmart doesn't give a crap how much you buy from them. Spend your money. Now, they will restrict you on certain items, say like quantity amounts. Like if they don't have an endless amount, they might say, "Oh, two per customer."
Okay. Yeah.
And I've had that happen. And so I've actually, in these boxes back here, I know you don't see what's in those boxes, but I found a great item at Walmart. I sent it to you. The big flip, the Halo.
Oh,
the Halo game.
Yeah,
the Halo game.
Yeah.
And so I've got those in those boxes right there. And those, those were a great flip. And I found that using tactical arbitrage. And I sold 2 of them before Christmas. And I decided to buy 2 more as soon as they dropped the price. And so finding those kind of deals where you're able to buy over and over again, that really helps. I mean, if I spent 180 the first time I bought them and then another 100 the second time I bought them, that's $200-$300 worth of product right there that I spent in a couple of clicks.
Right.
It didn't take me weeks searching for books, and they sell faster. Right. I mean, I could, if I price these right, I could sell them today. Might not make as much money, but I could sell them today because they're moving.
Right. I definitely am gonna shift over to tactical arbitrage. I think for the next upcoming months, I really want to build that book and DVD up and get that solid base.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm hitting thrift stores, then I got the 3 sales. And I think after that, I'll be at a good solid place to really start diving in online.
Yeah, I think once you get to about 800 in stock, you're going to just see that. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to make at 800 in stock. You can make $1,000, from a paycheck.
Yeah.
And like, that was your primary initial investment.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to get that back in one paycheck. Now, granted, you put in a lot of work. Right. So you're really not going to get paid until, you've gotten your money back, and then you've also paid for your time and effort. It could take a while, but after the first year of business, you kind of, especially with Amazon, there's not many businesses that you can go into and profit in your first year.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're profitable yet, but you're definitely getting there. Your sales are coming in.
Right.
So
I'm seeing it grow. So
I would suggest, though, if you're manually repricing using Repricer, you should definitely have it set up to try to match the buy box, and maybe set like lower limits on it, because that's basically how Profit Protector Pro works. I basically
does it automatically, like AIs, right?
It automatically will change the price, so it's an automatic repricer, which Reprice it is too. When I had Reprice it, I mean, that was the first day I ever had, I want to say 85 books sell in a single day.
Yeah, 85 books selling a day.
I had 85 books selling a single day, and that's back when I had the warehouse and I was doing the bulk model.
Okay.
I was sending in tons and tons of books, but I wasn't really repricing them properly. So I was getting a lot of sales, but the minute I turned on that repricer and it had it set to match the buy box, and I set like a minimum of like $7 or something because it's all bulk. I mean, I was making 50 cents on a lot of these books.
Okay.
I had it set for like a minimum of $7, and a lot of these books just started selling as soon as I set that automatic repricing on. And I sold like 80 to 85 books in a single day. It was huge.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
What's the most amount of books you've sold in a day?
That's got to be it.
85?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I've never sold that many units before. Now, the most revenue I've done in a day, I want to say, is like 6K. I did 6K
with the weight machines, right?
Yeah, so I had some weight equipment, some high dollar weight equipment that I was selling. We're not gonna name any brands or any UPCs or anything,
Yeah.
so I can't have you guys out there because I still believe it's profitable to sell. The price went up on them a lot though, and I think the demand's not quite there like it was. But when COVID popped off, the demand was there, and I was able to get them at a better price than you can get them today. And I made tons of money doing that.
Right.
So I actually sold 2 of those in one day, and they were selling for approximately $3K a unit. And I think that was actually one of my best months. I did like $20K that month.
Okay.
And so that was like my best month to date. Wow. And so it's definitely possible. But like, I just showed you screenshots of 12K not too long ago. Yeah. And that's no big ticket items. No big ticket items.
Consistent sales.
Just consistent sales.
Yeah.
So you can do it either way. Well, I think this has been very entertaining and very delightful having you here. I think everybody got a lot out of this. I think we both got a lot out of this. This has been great. Yeah. And so we're going to actually kick it out. Guys, it's been fun. It's been real. Ray, it's been a pleasure having you on this show. Before we go, what's your goals for 2023 with your Amazon business?
I want to do at least $30,000 in revenue.
30K in revenue. I think my man's going to do 30K easy. He's going to do that before the summer if he plays his cards right.
Okay. I like it. I appreciate you having me here. I've enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad that we're able to help as many people out as this video is going to help out by sharing your story with us today.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good feeling. So you guys, I hope you were taking notes. We dropped a lot of gold nuggets for you. And it's been a little bit of a long one, guys, but I know it's been entertaining. So just remember, the hustle never stops.